Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Carvel Community Meeting. Today's date is June 28th, 2021. Just a reminder, these are being recorded and we do upload them to our YouTube playlist. We ask that everyone who does attend these meetings to please read and abide by our code of conduct, which is listed here at the top of the agenda. If you're joining us from home and you're watching the recorded version of this, we do invite you to attend these live. We meet every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. And we also do offer our Carvel office hours, which we meet every second and fourth Thursday of the month, also at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. And the office hours are specific to those if you have some help that you need from the team regarding Carvel, or if there's any kind of more in-depth discussions that you want to bring to the team or provide lengthy feedback for something regarding Carvel, that's a perfect opportunity for you to present at that particular meeting. Also, when you're attending, we ask that you put in your name and any organization that you're representing so that we can keep track of the attendees that do come here live, and we can keep the lines of communication open and hopefully continue reaching out to you after the meeting ends. If you have anything that you wish to discuss or have any triage help needed, you can put that down here at the bottom of the agenda, and we'll get to that after we discuss the week's plans. We have a couple of announcements here. Just letting you know, we won't be meeting next Monday for the community meeting. We have a holiday here in the United States. It's observance of Independence Day. So the next time we'll meet will be the following Monday for the community meeting. And the office hours will also be that same week. The following Thursday after the week of July 5th. And just iterating on what we've been discussing in the last few meetings, we've been we are hiring. We have 3 open roles. One is a software engineering role. It's a returnship. What this means is that it's an opportunity for those that have kind of stepped away from working to care for a loved one and are now ready to return to work. So it's a little bit like an internship, but with a little bit more of a caveat to it. Another option we have here is a software engineering role based in the US. And then we also have one that is based in India. So if you're interested in any of these, please reach out to us on Slack. We're in the Kubernetes Slack workspace in the Carvel channel. If you don't have Slack, we also are on Twitter at Carvel_dev. So if you're interested and you have, if you want any more information on those roles, please feel free to reach out to us. We have 2 releases to discuss that happened last week. Does anyone want to go over this particular one on vendor?
Eli's not here. He cut the release, but yeah, kind of what's new. We implemented a few features and a couple of them coming from PRs. So thank you to Joel Holmes, Osterman, and Jay Bertazzi for the PRs. But yeah, just a few new features here.
Cool. Thank you. Next one we have is the image package release.
I can talk about this one. Yeah, hopefully image package pull in version 0.12.0 is going to run much faster, which is cool. And then there's also a couple of bug fixes. So, like if you did a copy, there was a chance you would get a panic due to a race condition that's been fixed. And then if you had an image log file with, duplicate image references, and you did a pull, those duplicate image references would disappear, but that's no longer the case. They should stay. So you can have multiple image references, even though they're duplicated with different annotations persisting on a pull.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. Anybody else have anything to say about either of those releases? Okay. Moving on to status updates. Aaron, you want to take over from here?
Sure. All right, let's see. So status updates, schemas still very much in flight. I guess, does anyone on the team want to give the update for schemas over the past week?
Yeah, I can add a little detail here. So scheme is a feature we've had in flight for some time. So we've been doing usability testing to try to identify gaps there. As part of that, we are working on a couple of stories for error message improvements and documentation for adopting schemas. I believe we also are looking for people to do usability testing. So if you're interested in trying out the new schema feature, please reach out. We can get a usability test on there. And then also just a note that's still behind a feature flag, but we're planning to remove that sometime soon in the future.
Thanks, Carrie. And then the next item is kapp-controller, the package manager APIs. We are currently nearing the end of our code freeze period and finishing up on some of the bugs and testing things that we wanted to stabilize a bit. It is planned to release this week. Tentative date is July 1st, Thursday. But yeah, we're just planning to kind of keep moving along on the remaining items. And then up next, we'll be working on private registry authentication. Then image package, continuing to work on some bug fixes and enhancements. Dennis called attention to some of the things that were released in the latest release. We'll also be talking about some things in today's IPM or today's discussion of our backlog. Dennis, is there anything else you want to call out from the past week?
No, that covers it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then as always, there is an area for discussion topics or triage help if there are any things that you would like to discuss in today's meeting. We'll try to carve out some time at the end of this meeting. So jumping over to the backlog then, I'll first filter by the YTT schemas epic. And we can see we have a few things currently in flight. There's the usability testing, schema v1 migration, and populate missing info during schema error messages. And then we have a couple of things at the top of the backlog, a couple bugs. I believe that we have discussed both of these bugs in a previous meeting. Would it be useful if we visited these again, or are people comfortable with these ones? I'll maybe pop this one open real quick. Maybe give a thumbs up if you're okay to keep moving, thumbs down if you'd like to discuss. All right, cool, keep moving. And how about the same one for this one?
I don't think we talked about this one yet.
Let's see, so unknown file location for nodes added via template replace. So let's take a look at the gist. So we can see that we're panicking, which is not great.
So we're panicking there on the output of the error message, trying to convert the line number to a string, I think. The position as a compact string.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes more sense for this message then.
I had a question for Carrie. With the PRs that you're working on now, do you have any relation to giving line numbers to the template replace nodes?
Yes. Yeah, so it's still work in progress, but I think currently nodes that are replaced into a template using template replace don't have a position at all that includes line number. So I don't know, it's possible maybe what I'm working on now would solve this. Although I'm not exactly sure if I understand this problem exactly, but it's possible.
Yeah, it looks like John had posted a couple questions a while ago. Part of the reason this may be in the backlog where it is because we thought that that story that you currently are working on, Carrie, would solve this. So maybe we should block this one on that story. But does anyone, I guess, have any questions about this story or anything that we want to dig into more specifically? Okay, let's see if that's 417. All right, so we'll add a blocker to that one then. But yeah, it's another bug. So we'll kind of treat it as we generally treat our bugs. We'll, I think, take a pass at it and check in after a day or so once we learn more. Cool. Following those two bugs, we have some stories that we've discussed before, removing the flag, the experimental flag, which also includes updating docs, and then a couple of docs focus stories. I think that's probably more than enough for this week for the YTT track. Any questions on YTT or schemas before moving on? All right. So then looking at the backlog again, I'm just going to skip past the YTT stories. And the next top story is an image package bug. And this one has surfaced from some folks that are using nested bundles. But I'll give y'all a moment to read through this one. So it's a bit of unexpected behavior. Let's scroll down a little bit and just kind of point out. So Garrett, it looked like you were able to reproduce this. And then Joao and Dimitri actually had a bit of a discussion down below and even furthermore in Slack. They talked, I would say at this point, they're getting into the implementation details, like what a solution could look like. And as Joao is pointing out, as the TLDR here is, we can consider having a field to provide additional metadata. It could follow an annotation style. think at a high level, that's what it says. But do folks have any questions or want to dive into anything specific, or I can also pause on a certain bit of text if you want to spend more time on it.
I didn't get a good amount of time to read. Like, I haven't read that thread between Joao and Dimitri, but manifest JSON, were they referring to, like, I don't know what that was referring to. So I don't know how important that is to understand this bug. But I think the bug, reading it makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think getting into the manifest JSON is, I don't know, more so the implementation details at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, overall, it's a, I guess at a high level, this is a bug to ensure that our nested bundles are working properly. Cool, but this is at the top of the backlog for image package then. Does it makes, if it, any other remaining questions before we move on from this one?
I have a question. Go ahead, Gabe.
I was wondering about its priority and its in comparison to the YTT track.
Yeah, so the
and what was
YTT,
discussed, yeah. What was discussed in the Slack channel that I saw on the VMware side of things.
I'm not sure if there was a conversation in VMware side of things. This Slack thread should go to Kubernetes Slack. But as for priority, we're still keeping, I guess, schemas as our top priority. And then after schemas, it would essentially be the open API work on YTT, but we're just serializing on YTT for right now. And then after that is when we're starting to address these image package bugs. And there are 2 image package bugs, and then there's also another kbuild feature, which we had discussed before, but it's just to improve debugging visibility.
Yeah, we want to go through these as fast as possible, but is there anyone blocked by this? Like, is this needed by kapp-controller, or is there another team that's kind of blocked and waiting on this?
Yeah, there is a team that is using the copy functionality, and so this is blocking, I guess, their ideal path. There are workarounds, but they're less than ideal. So
Yeah, it's similar to what I was wondering about, like the impact of this. So if this bug could cause the wrong SHA in the result lock file, so if that is used later, it would produce the incorrect bundle. Is that true? Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, so in order to, I guess, to use like this workflow, anyone trying to do this would be blocked. So anyone that is trying to copy with lock output. Cool, good questions. Good questions. I guess anything else regarding, I don't know, priorities or order of these things? Okay. Then I believe we have already talked about this bug before also, which is plain image should not fall back onto first image in the image index. So that's when there's an image index. I believe we have some logic where instead of returning an error or something like that, we instead return the first image in that image index, which is a little misleading. Cool. As do folks want to discuss anything further in this one?
Just reading the description, we should just error out if they don't give us an image reference that's not an image index. I'm not sure if the comments and the discussion leads to a different suggestion, but is that the takeaway? Maybe the best approach.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know if this conversation had concluded necessarily.
Okay.
So at that point, I think it would still be up to the implementer to kind of, propose a solution and then take that attack.
Yeah, erroring out if you give an image index, if you don't give a specific image, that sounds like a possible solution.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I think really between, these two schemas, the image package work, that's probably still going to be plenty for this week. Do we have any discussion topics? We do not. Is there anything else that people would like to discuss today?
I have a question, but it might be more suited for office hours.
Well, you can feel free to ask, and we have some time. So the main question is whether we have the right people on the call.
Mm-hmm. My question was, I'm trying to call image package from a Go program. So basically doing an exec.command and just calling out to image package. And I don't get any output from the, even though like if you run image package from the command line, it tells you like what files it's uploading, and it gives you the URL and the digest of the resource that it created up on your registry. When I'm running it in Go, I don't get any of that information coming back.
You're building like a command, and the command name is image package with arguments being the subcommands and flags. And are you attaching like a writer or something to the out and error like fields? And
So
then
I'm just, I'm basically, well, what is it? The exec.command, it has there's a combined output method that it returns on that gives you both a combination of both standard error and standard out. And like, it's completely empty. Like there's nothing in it.
Yeah, I'm wondering by default, what does it write to? I just don't remember. Does it write to does it find the subprocess a TTY, and does it write to that directly? You might need to basically give it explicitly, in the out field and the error field, a writer, like a gbytes, buffer, and then like just print that out. You should like if you run in your terminal and you get output, it should be possible to do it using the exec command. I don't mind pairing with you after this call if you like, just to look through it.
Yeah,
we do something similar in our. I can also point you to the if you look at the image package end-to-end test, we do something very similar. We use exec to like print out and run image package commands, and we print out standard out, standard error. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll hang on the call and look through that. Cool, thank you.
Cool. Any other questions or topics people want to chat about? All right. I think we can wrap up this call, and then we can leave it to the folks that want to debug some stuff.
Cool. All right. Thanks everyone for joining this week's edition of the Carvel community meeting. Just a reminder, we do meet every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, but we are not meeting next Monday on July 5th because we are going to be observing the U.S. holiday of Independence Day here. We will have office hours. I think I misspoke earlier earlier in the meeting. We do have office hours set for next week because it lands on the second Thursday of the month. And we'll meet at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. And that's just an opportunity for you to bring anything that you wish to discuss with the team that you're having need help with, or you have feedback on, just anything regarding the tool suite. We're here to help you in that way. Otherwise, you can find us on the Kubernetes Slack channel in Carvel, or on Twitter, which is at Carvel_dev. And we hope that you do join us live. We would love to hear from you and how you're using Carvel. With that, thank you. Have an enjoyable week.